Imagine Jesus walking into your room today. He looks around, sees your phone, sees your computer, then you tell him, yeah, there's this thing called AI, and you show him ChatGPT and you ask it to write an essay, generate an image, make a song, write code, maybe even ask it, can you explain the meaning of life? And Jesus looks at the screen. What do you think he would say? Would he be amazed? Would he be concerned? Would he say, wow, this is incredible? Or would he look at humanity and say, you guys really gave yourself this much power? Because AI is one of the strangest things humanity has ever created. And even if Jesus actually walked through our world today, AI would almost be impossible to ignore. But here's the interesting part. The Bible obviously never mentioned artificial intelligence, so we can't honestly say Jesus would definitely think this or whatever. But we can look at what Jesus actually taught and ask what those teachings might mean for the age of AI, and the answer is pretty fascinating. First, Jesus probably wouldn't be impressed simply because something is technologically advanced. Think about the world Jesus lived in. Rome was incredibly powerful. They had massive armies, huge roads, advanced engineering, aqueducts, concrete weapons. For their time, Rome was basically the technological superpower. But Jesus didn't spend his ministry talking about how impressive Rome was. He talked about the people, their hearts, their choices, and how they treated one another. And that's important because when we talk about AI, we usually ask, how powerful is it? How intelligent is it? How fast will it become? Or will it take our jobs? But Jesus might ask a completely different question, not what can AI do, but what are you going to do with it? And that's a much harder question. Think about a knife. You can use a knife to cook dinner or you can use it to hurt someone. The object itself doesn't decide what happens. The person holding it does. And AI is obviously much more complicated than a knife, but the principle is similar. You can use AI to help someone learn, translate languages, discover new medicines, help disabled people communicate, solve difficult problems, or you can use it to manipulate people, spread lies, cheat, steal, create fake identities, make people believe things that never happened. So maybe Jesus wouldn't start by asking whether AI is good or evil. Maybe he'd ask, what is happening inside the person using it, because that's something Jesus talked about constantly, the heart, the motivation, the intention. Two people who can use exactly the same technology and do completely different things with it. But here's another part of AI that gets really interesting: human connection. Jesus spent an enormous amount of time with people. He ate with people, talked with people, listened to people, touched people who were sick, comforted people who were grieving. He didn't just send them information, he was present, and that's something AI can't truly replace. You can talk to an AI at 3 in the morning. You can respond instantly, it won't be annoyed, it won't judge you, it can even sound incredibly understanding, and that can be useful, but there's a huge difference between something responding to you and another human actually sharing life with you. A machine can generate words about love, but it doesn't have a childhood memory of being loved. It can describe grief, but it doesn't bury its mother. It can explain friendship, but it doesn't have a friend. And that's where we should be careful. Because the danger of AI might simply be that machines become too intelligent. It might be that humans become too comfortable replacing relationships with simulations of relationships. And Jesus, he constantly pushed people toward one another, not away from one another. Here's another uncomfortable question. What happens when AI can do almost everything for us? Write the essay, make the presentation, answer the question, plan a trip, write the email, generate an image, solve the problem. Eventually, you might not even need to think very much. And yeah, that does sound amazing until you realize something. Difficulty isn't always the enemy. Sometimes difficulty is the thing that makes you stronger, and Jesus constantly called people to difficult things. Forgive people, love your enemies, serve others, give generously, resist temptation, carry your cross. And none of that sounds particularly convenient. And that's because Christianity isn't really built around convenience, it's built about transformation. And transformation requires participation. If AI does every difficult thing for you, you have to ask, what happens to the parts of yourself that only grow through difficulty? If you never struggle to write, do you ever become a better writer? If you never struggle to solve problems, do you ever become a better thinker? And if you never struggle to communicate, do you ever become better at communicating? Maybe sometimes the shortcut costs more than we realize. And then there's a question that nobody can really avoid. AI gives humans an extraordinary amount of power. We're creating systems that can generate knowledge, images, voices, decisions, and ideas at incredible speed, and humanity has always had a complicated relationship with power. We want more of it, more control, more knowledge, more ability to shape the world. But Christianity contains an ancient warning about this. The temptation isn't simply to become powerful, it's to believe we don't need God anymore. To believe that if we become smart enough, rich enough, advanced enough, we can control everything. But Jesus repeatedly taught the opposite, that you can gain the whole world and still lose yourself. And that's a pretty interesting warning for the AI age because maybe the biggest question isn't will AI become like God? Maybe it's will humans start believing they don't need God because of what AI can do? And those are very different questions. So, what would Jesus think about AI? We don't know. But we can make an educated guess about what he'd care about. He'd probably care less about how impressive the machine is, and much more about what it's doing to the person using it. Is it helping you love people or avoid them? Is it helping you learn or making you incapable of thinking for yourself? Is it helping you serve or making you obsessed with yourself? Is it giving you more freedom to do what matters or simply giving you more ways to waste your time? Because technology changes incredibly fast, but human nature doesn't. 2000 years ago, people struggled with pride, greed, envy, laziness, fear, power, and we still do. The technology is new, but the temptation isn't. So maybe Jesus wouldn't tell us to fear AI. Maybe he'd tell us to be careful with it. Use it, but don't worship it. Let it serve you. Don't let it define you. Take advantage of its power without forgetting your own responsibility. Because no matter how intelligent machine become, there are things they cannot do for you. They cannot choose what kind of person you become. They cannot love someone on your behalf. They cannot forgive someone for you, and they cannot sacrifice for you. And they cannot answer the deepest question of all. What is your life actually for? AI might become incredibly good at giving us answers, but maybe the most important questions were never meant to be answered by a machine. So thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications for more videos exploring Jesus, Christianity, technology, and the biggest question of the modern life. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, man.